good morning to you, Guy Watson here, Bognor Regis Bonsai. Today is the 17th of December, and hopefully today's going to be the last day of our chilly spell that we've had. I know we haven't had much of the white stuff down here, and we did have some, but it didn't land and pitch. Unlike up in Preston, I've just seen Tony with all his protection from the cold. He's kneeling down, sorting out his beech and hawthorn trees. But I thought I'd have a quick look at this myrtle, which I've been looking at the label here, just an ordinary myrtle. It says here, a hardy plant which should survive normal winter conditions outside, especially if protected from the hardest frosts. I say down here in the south of the UK we don't get really hard frosts, and it's never been protected before in the winter, so hopefully it's going to be okay. Now what I'm doing on this one today is I'm just going around and cleaning it all up, taking branches. I won't show all of you on seeing this, because it's a pretty boring thing to watch, but it's just going around tidying it all up. And what I think I'll do, I'll carry on with that and I'll come back and show you once I've done a bit more and sort it out. Then next spring, I'm hoping I can get it into a bonsai pot. So I'm just going to red label and stick it in the ground, if it'll go in. Right, I'll come back to you once I've done a bit of pruning around. Cheerio for now. Okay, well after that short exercise in pruning, I think that's what's going to be the front. I'm going to leave this bit back here because that's hard into the soil at the moment, but I'm hoping I can possibly dig that up next spring and make it into another plant. But anyway, so we'll forget that one. But that's what my myrtle looks like now. I think it's got a makings of quite a nice little structure down here. Obviously there are some wire marks here that need to grow out, but on the whole I quite like that. So I'll put that back on the bench now where it'll be fairly well protected, and that'll do for that one until the spring, when I've got the marker in now for repotting it, so we'll get that done next year. Right, thank you very much. Right, well today's the 21st of December. I know we're a bit early thinking about my February monthly Tree of the Month competition, but that is going to be Winter Image. Now last year, or this year actually still, I took this one in February, but for a change I was wondering if I couldn't take this Turkish Hazel forest. Now what I want to think of there, in the middle of it, in the middle of the grove, I might do a bit of work with that, but I'll stick a picture here of a photo taken at Kingley Vale at the entrance to the English yew trees just north of Chichester, and I'll show you what I've got there, because it's something I want to try and recreate and put in the middle of this, and I think I could take this. Okay, well that was a picture of some sort of chopped logs, almost looked like a druid initiation ceremony position. And I was thinking, this is another goat willow that seems to have grown up in a tub here, totally by itself. It needs chopping back here, and could I make little seats out of some of these branches and possibly make a circle of tree trunks that a druid could possibly be sitting on? I'll put that in the middle of my Turkish Hazel Grove. Anyway, let me get my scissors. I think one of those trunks has got to be chopped off, then I can do that in the wet winter weather. Okay, well looking at this trunk, we got buds appearing down here. I quite like the shape of this, so I'm thinking of keeping that one and chopping this one off. So I've got my ratcheting secateurs here, leave a bit for dieback. There we go. Right. Hopefully I can make some little druid type seats out of this. I'm going to let it cool, dry off a bit now, then I can do that. Put a bit of cut paste on this cut here. And then, then we'll put this away and do something with this over the next couple of days. Okay, well as I say, here's a piece of goat's willow that I pruned up the other day. So let's see about how, I mean obviously these seats for the Druids have not to be too big, but big enough to be seen. I think like that, going around in a sort of circle, might do. So I'll cut up a few more of these, then we'll see about how we're going to attach them. Okay, well here's my little blocks, with one for the chief druid to go at the end. They're going to be stood around something like this, in a little circle, in the grove. But what I've got to do is try and think of a way of attaching. What I was thinking of doing was drilling a hole in the middle of this and then attaching them with a bit of araldite or epoxy glue around a wire, and that can then stick in. It would also help actually to hold the moss on and stop the blackbirds pinching it. So let's see how this gets going with drilling a hole. Can you see? Yep, right. How does that, can we get a piece of wire in there? Yes we can. Let me just make it a bit deeper. Oh, that's gone in a fair way. And that'll go in, yep, right, that's fine. So if we do that with all of them, well, I'll do one more and then I'll do the rest off camera. Oops. It's easy to hold it and do it by hand. Oh, I went through with that one, that's not very good. Well, I've got enough here to have a replacement. Let's just do this one so you can see this one being done. Right, there we go. I'll do the last few off camera and then we'll come back and see about the gluing. Okay, well in actual fact I've discovered that because the hole I've actually got quite the right size, I don't need glue, they will actually push in and stay in. There, and there's one, here's another one. There, do one more, then I'll just finish them off camera. There we go. So I'll just finish off putting these in, then we'll go and see what they look like on the tree itself, or the grove itself. Okay, well there we are. I've actually positioned the druid seats in the centre of the grove. I don't actually think it looks too bad. A nice little talking point for the atmospheric, what I was trying to achieve with the atmosphere of the group. So an ancient Turkish Hazel Grove with the seating for druids in the middle. Just a thought, but I think this will go along for Friday, for February's silhouette competition for the tree of the month. Right, I'm going to leave these stools out for a while because they obviously have to weather a bit, Right, and that'll do for that one. There we go. Right, another project for today. Now, I was recently watching a video by Bonsai Cornwall, Jonas from Bonsai Cornwall, where he was dealing with a Christmas tree in a different sort of design, and I thought, I've got a Thuja that looks a bit like that. It sort of looks as though an elephant's been sat on this one. It has been wired before, but I thought, well, it does need to have a bit more wiring to try and give it a bit of shape, and then possibly thinking about a different repotting angle, but that won't happen today, obviously. But let me get some wires, wire this up, then we'll see how we can make it into a decent looking shape. Okay, well that's it now wired up. So now let's see what we can do with the bending. Try and give it a bit of shape. Spray that one out a bit there. Now this one's double wired, so hopefully we can get this down and then up a bit. Likewise with that one. Let's just give these two at the front, these smaller ones, a bit more of a twist and a bend, with a bit more of a shape. That one can sit in there. Right. I think that'll do for the bending for now. Not quite sure where the front of this is going to be. I'm not even sure if I like the style of it. But it'll grow on me. It will grow on me. And I think that'll be roughly the front there. Must get a taller stool next time. Right, yes, I think that'll be the sort of front angle of it. Right, now it's bent out like that. That can stay there until next year. Or what I'll do, I'll just pull up some of this liverwort that's in the soil. But that'll do for now. Well, I've just cleaned up the trunk a bit with a toothbrush. Thought I'd just give it a quick spin with a clean trunk. There were some roots coming down here that look quite nice, but it's actually coming out at what I consider to be more the back of the tree. But we shall see how it progresses in the future. Right, so hope you had a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and may your bonsai continue to grow well in the new year. Right, cheerio then.